Sage's care for individual people is a bit more inconsistent, kind of like having trouble seeing the trees through the forest. His obsession with his mission often isolates him, and he struggles to maintain these close relationships. And his paranoia can make him pretty abrasive and dismissive, to say the least. However, he does show capacity for empathy. With his bond with Myra Furman, the Hub City's ineffectual mayor's wife, then she becomes the mayor, he shows genuine concern for her safety and her moral struggles, even if their relationship was messy and doomed. And in the New 52, Sage mentors Renee Montoya, training her to become the next Question. His efforts to guide her, even as he's dying of cancer, spoiler alert, it reveals a selfless desire to pass on his mission and continue to protect the world through her. These relationships, though few, show that when Sage connects with someone, he cares deeply, often putting their well-being above his own. And then, of course, there's his relationship with the Huntress as portrayed in the animated series Justice League Unlimited. Highly recommend watching Season 2, Episode 9, Question Authority. You won't regret it. Sage's ultimate act of care comes in, ironically, the New 52, where despite terminal lung cancer, he continues his mission and trains Montoya to carry on his work. His decision to keep fighting, even though in great pain, and to ensure his fight against corruption lives on after him, underscores a profound commitment to the world's future. His death in the snow after failing to stop Intergang feels tragic, but really reinforces that his care for others drives him even until his very last breath. That said, Sage's care does have limits. His conspiracy theorist mindset can make him very focused on abstract threats, sometimes at the expense of immediate human needs. His abrasive personality and tendency to alienate allies, like Tot, his friend and tech support, can sometimes undermine his efforts to help. His moral absolutism, which is rooted in Ditko's objectivism, can make him judgmental, as he really struggles to empathize with those who don't share his very rigid sense of right and wrong. How much he cares is also reflected in the tone of his stories. In Ditko's era, he was a staunch defender of justice, caring for society's moral fabric. O'Neill's run added nuance, showing him as a flawed man wrestling with his own anger and alienation, but still fighting for a broken world. In modern depictions like Justice League Unlimited, the animated series, he's portrayed as a quirky but dedicated protector, willing to challenge even the Justice League to keep the world safe from hidden threats. Vic Sage cares intensely about the world and its people, driven by a burning desire to expose corruption and protect the vulnerable. His actions, risking his life, mentoring others, and sacrificing himself, show a selfless commitment to justice and truth. However, his cynicism, paranoia, and obsession with conspiracies can make his care seem distant or abstract, and his difficulty with personal connections limits his empathy at times. Ultimately, the Question's care is profound, but it is expressed through the lens of relentless, often solitary vigilance, making him a tragic yet heroic figure. Aside from his care for the world that he lives in as a driving force, his journey stems from his skeptical nature, exposure to systematic corruption, philosophical evolution, personal trauma, and the cultural anxieties of his story's eras. His relentless quest for truth, while admirable and noble, often leads him to see conspiracies where others simply see coincidence, thus making him one of the deepest, most complex, and even one of the most relatable characters I have ever come across.
Disney and Kathleen Kennedy are gonna get you!